we will move on to yet another sources of energy, that is wind energy. Wind energy, as you know, is a green. It is a green energy. That means it creates no atmospheric pollution. So, wind energy is a form of energy that is both environment friendly and renewable. So, what happens is those places where the speed of wind is very high, there windmills are erected. And the windmills rotate due to, as you see in the figure, such windmills are placed at places where the speed of wind is very high. So when speed wind blows, what happens is this turbine rotates. And this turbine will be connected to the shaft of the turbine. When the shaft of the turbine rotates, when the shaft rotates, it will be connected to a turbine, and the turbine also rotates. Thereby, a generator which is connected to the turbine starts working. As a result, electricity is produced. So, windmill is a type of energy source that makes use of the energy from winds. So here electricity is obtained by turning the turbine of generator using the wind power. Here production of electricity does not incur any recurring expenditure. That means once windmill is erected, the first expenditure need only be met. Then later on no further expenditure will be needed. That is, but it has certain limitations. This windmill cannot be erected on all the places. Those places where there is wind, the speed of wind should be greater. Such places, in only such places you can erect such windmills. Now, then this can be established only at those places where wind is available for most time of the year. We may require storage systems to use electricity when there is no wind. That is, however, the places which receive more amount of wind, there may be chances of time when there is no wind also. At that time, you have to depend on the stored electricity. That is why storage capacity should also be ensured in such windmills. Then, about 2 hectares of land is needed for the production of 1 megawatt power. The expense to establish a windmill is very high, and that for repairing it in the event of damages caused by heavy rain, cyclones, heat, etc. is also very high. So the question may be, what are the limitations of windmill? So write a question there. What are the limitations of windmill? The limitations of windmill is, this can be established only at those places where wind is available for most time. And about 2 hectares of land is needed for the production of 1 megawatt power. And the expense to establish a windmill is very high. And if there is a cause or if there is a natural disaster, then the expense to repair this windmill is also very high. Then here it is given, Denmark is known as a country of wind. More than 25% of the electricity needed for this generator for this nation is generated using windmill. Then comes Germany stands number 1 among the nations producing electricity from wind. What is the position of India? India is in the 5th position in producing electricity from wind. Then in India, it is at Kanyakumari that electricity is generated from the wind to the maximum, which comes to about 380 megawatt. Kerala is also producing electricity, and it is at Ramakalmed and at Kanyikode. So, Ramakalmed and Kanyikode is the 2 places where electricity is generated from wind. Now, next one, energy from sea. We have already studied the Earth's surface. 2/3 of the Earth's surface is covered with water. And sea waves, that is the tides that is produced during high tide time, and the heat from the ocean, etc. can be used for producing electricity. So first one is tidal energy. Tidal energy means when see the picture is given here. The turbine is located at the shore and the tide, when the high tide occurs, this high tide moves to the shore. So what happens is from the ocean, high tide moves to the shore, making the turbine rotate. So at that time, making the turbine rotate and electricity is generated. And this water is stored in the reservoir here. And then after, when the ocean or when the seawater reaches here, then it comes back also. Also for both of these movement, the turbine rotates. So this is the case of tidal energy. In Kerala, it is not possible to use this tidal energy because the sea waves are not so strong, and moreover the waves that are produced during high tide also, it will not exceed above 1 meter. So tidal energy creation is not possible in Kerala coast. Then comes waves, energy from waves, that is using the power of sea waves also we can rotate our turbine, thereby producing electricity. Then ocean thermal energy. This is a new topic, ocean thermal energy. That is what happens is the surface of ocean is relatively hot due to solar radiation that you have studied in smaller classes. But the temperature will be very low at the deep levels. So what happens is ocean thermal energy conservation plants, that is OTEC, produce energy making use of the difference in temperatures. That is, on the top of the ocean level, temperature will be high, and below the ocean level, temperature will be less. So by making use of this temperature level, electricity can be generated, and the plant or the instrument that is, or the plants that is used for generating electricity is known as ocean thermal energy conservation plants. The temperature of the surface of ocean and the regions at 2 meter depth will vary by more than 20 Kelvin at temperature. The heat at the surface boils volatile liquids like ammonia. Using the gas obtained, turbine is rotated. The cold water at the bottom liquefies the gas again. By the continuous action of this, we get electrical energy. That is, the cold water, what happens is, the temperature difference is about 20 kV, and by using the topmost water or by using the heat of the topmost water, highly volatile liquids like ammonia gets heated and it vaporizes. By using this vapor, the turbine can be rotated. Then this process continues. That is, by using the heat from the water, this turbine is rotated. Then the water cools and it goes to the surface of ocean, and by this repeated process the electricity generation can be repeated. Then comes geothermal energy. Geothermal energy means the surface of earth is cooled as to make life possible in it, but the interior of earth is not so cool now. You may have studied in geography, the interior is still in a molten form and it is known as magma. It is at a higher temperature. So what happens is, some places this high temperature magma, with the places where there are soft surfaces, this magma comes out of the core through the softer region. So certain areas of the earth's surface are softer. So through these softer regions, this magma comes to the upper ground. Then what happens? Such places are known as hotspots. So what are hotspots? Hotspots are regions where the magma comes from the underground of Earth's surface. Magma comes to the topper portion. That portion is known as hotspot. Then the water that is stored at the underground, by using the heat from this magma, it vaporizes. And this vapor will be stored in between the rocks, and the rocks, when the rocks are drilled, this heat can be, or the steam can be taken out. So what happens? the magma from the core of Earth's surface, it comes to the bottom. It comes to the top. While on its way, the underground water gets heated. Water gets heated and steam is produced. This steam will be trapped in between the rocks, and by drilling the rocks, the steam can be taken out, and the steam will be at a very high pressure. The steam can be taken out and the turbine can be rotated. So this is geothermal energy, and here also in Kerala also this is not possible because there are no hotspots found out in Kerala. So these are the renewable sources of energy and eco-friendly sources of energy.